Alrighty, so I wanted to kind of go over this banner and the character and sort of determine whether or not you should maybe summon. Really quickly, I do want to say that I'm going to be summoning just because I kind of want to get the character personally, and we're doing live summons on the YouTube channel, so we should be live in 3 hours whenever the banner drops. So if you want to hang out or you're available then and you want to come by and say hey, feel free to do so. Subscribe and all that good stuff if you haven't already. But yeah, this banner is pretty hard to recommend, honestly. I really do like this Gowther. Honestly, the theme doesn't really even match. You really only see Gowther with this suit at the very beginning of the show. After that, he doesn't use this suit at all, like after season 1 or 2. So I don't really even know why he's in the suit, but I'm not griping on that at all. I like him in the suit. But I like the design of the character. He's really, really cool. But the banner itself is a huge downgrade. We're in this weird spot where the devs wanted to spice things up and try to make it easier for people to get festival units, and somehow they came up with the plan to remove festival units from the banner, from the festival banners, and put them on a separate banner instead. So there are no extra festival units on this banner. They said that they weren't going to change this compared to the way that they did it on JP and Korea, because they didn't want to, screw over those players. They said that they will try to look into a solution for, how this turned out, because obviously the player base is not very happy about it. So we're stuck with this. It is a 900 mileage banner, just like all the other festival banners are. It is a guaranteed SSR at 300, 600, and then you can choose between Gowther and the new Hauser at 900. The only good thing about this whole situation is that Gowther and Hauser are both rated up. So it's still going to be a 4% banner if I'm not mistaken, and all of these units down here are a 0.25% chance, whereas Gowther and Hauser are a 0.5% chance if I'm not mistaken. These actually might not be 0.25. I'm not sure exactly how the math works out on that, but I think they're 0.25. They could be a little bit lower. But the fact that the new units are 0.5 is good, but it doesn't really make up for the fact that, you're not going to be able to pull festival units out of this banner, besides Gowther, obviously. And they made it to where you can trade festival coins in the coin shop for other units, but that doesn't really do you a whole lot of good if Gowther is the only one on the banner, because obviously he's a brand new unit, and normally if you summon more than one copy of him, you're probably going to want to give him the duplicate instead of trading it for another character, unless you maybe just don't have these characters. But that brings me to the next point. This Gowther is actually really, really terrible as far as his ultimate goes. His ultimate is really cool looking, but unfortunately it scales terribly. And it's very unfree-to-play friendly. So if you don't know, at level 1, it inflicts damage equal to 8% of the hero's maximum HP on all enemies. So it's an AoE, but it does 8% of your max HP, which is very low. And then it deletes 2 skills from the pool of all the enemy's skills. So it deletes 2 cards out of their hands, which is cool. There's not a whole lot of people in the game that have the delete skill. The only noticeable one that I think that I even remember having it is, I think it's Red Monspeet, and nobody uses him. But at level 6, or your maxed out ultimate, you deal 40% of your maximum HP, which still isn't that great. That's still not that high, but it deletes the entire hand of the enemy, team, which is pretty insane. That's really crazy, honestly. So I'm just so sick and tired of them making these really, really bad ultimates and then making them really, really good at the higher levels, so that way you're forced to either spend money on the game, so that way you can try to pull the unit more, or it just forces you to summon more than you want to. It's just really dumb. I really don't like that. It's, it used to be, there was no 6/6 effects or anything like that. The first unit that ever got a 6/6 effect was Red Oslo and Hawk, and it was really, really dumb. and they didn't do it for a while, and then all of a sudden they just started doing it with everybody, and it's really, really dumb to see. Not a big fan of that at all. When I do summons, I'm literally just going to be going for level 1. I just want the character in general. I really could care less if the ultimate hits harder, because obviously for like my own personal use, and you know, with my own, you know, outlook on the whole thing, I can't use a unit I don't have. So I'm not worried about getting a maximum ultimate. I don't care. I'm not that's not how I play the game. I would much rather just be able to use the character and use their skills and stuff like that, because obviously their skills and everything are going to be the same for everybody, you know, depending on how good your gear is or whatever. If you're playing a, you know, geared PvP, or if you have the costumes and stuff like that, it's a whole nother ball game. But I don't know, he's kind of good, he's kind of interesting. First skill is Pulverize, or it inflicts Pulverize, which inflicts pulverized damage equal to 450% of attack on one enemy. If the hero's ultimate move gauge has 4 orbs or more, removes 1 orb from the enemy's ultimate move gauge. And then the Pulverize does 20% additional damage for each orb in the hero's ultimate move gauge. So, in the hero's ultimate move gauge. Oh, so it's his ultimate move gauge. I was like, isn't that just detonate? But I was reading that wrong. So yeah, he deals extra damage depending on how full his ultimate move gauge is, which is kind of interesting, I guess. And then this is the big one that a lot of people are going to want, which is for 2 turns, disables all skills except debuff skills, including ultimate moves, disables skills which are rank 2 or higher, and decreases skill ranks at the end of the enemy's turn. So I'm pretty sure that's like the end all be all. Like obviously that's the level 3 skill effect for that one. If I'm not mistaken, at level 1, I'm pretty sure it just removes buffs, or like you cannot use buff cards. So let me make sure of that really quickly. Disables buff skills and rank 2 or above skills on all enemies. Decreases skill ranks of all enemies at the end of the turn for 1 turn. So yeah, very, very good skill. It's not very often that you get skills that do remove, or like that disable buff skills and stuff like that. So this is obviously to sort of counter the Margaret meta. And it also help a little bit against Bond, I guess, but he is a green unit, so you know he's going to be taking a lot of damage from Bond, so just be aware of that. But I mean, he's a very interesting unit. I really like the way he's designed. I really like his look and everything like that, but his ultimate is very unfriendly, and then his, you know, his banner is just kind of meh. I'm really hoping I don't have to go super hard on this banner, because I would much rather just, you know, save and make sure that I can kind of look at what's coming as far as the Halloween banners. Because the new Matrona does look kind of interesting. She's not like a must-have or anything by any means, but depending on how many gems I have, I might end up going in on that banner. And then the next banner after that should be another Halloween banner as well, but we don't really know what exactly is going to be on the banner just yet. So I would like to hopefully not have to, you know, go super hard on this banner, because honestly, if you're a free-to-play player, or you just, you know, you're saving up and you can't really justify, you know, summoning on this, I really don't recommend it. It's not very... not a very good banner in my opinion. The new Hauser is okay at best. His whole gimmick is that he pretty much helps his teammates do extra detonate skill damage, which is fine, I guess, but it's not as good as you would think it would be. So his stats and stuff are pretty low, and his regular skills are just kind of meh. So I don't know. Not great, honestly. I almost wish they would just remove him and make Gowther like a 1% rate up. I think that would be fantastic, but it is what it is. So that's pretty much it. Honestly, like I said, if you're free to play, or, you know, light spender, or whatever the case may be, and you don't have the gems for it at the moment, or you do and you're kind of like on the fence, I would say skip. He's not really all that interesting, or like not all that great. When it comes down to it, like honestly, even the JP and Korea players that I've seen that did summon for him, they're using more Bond teams and Margaret teams and stuff like that than they are Gowther teams in general, from what I have seen personally. So I don't know that he's going to be like super good, but I don't know. He is a festival unit. He might be a little bit better in the future. You know, obviously he's going to be helpful if they release more units that you know, have better buff skills and stuff like that. So it's kind of up to you. You're just going to have to make your own judgment call on this one, depending on your own situation and what kind of gems you have and everything like that. But yeah, I'm going to be summoning. I do have enough to go to the guarantee. Hopefully I don't have to, but I would say if you're not a big fan of Gowther, then you should probably skip it. But anyways, that's it from me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry it was a little rambly, but yeah, that's all I've got for you today. Like I said, I will be live streaming shortly, so if you want to stay tuned and hang out for that, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, or just come back and hang out in the chat and do whatever you want to do later. So that is it. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next video.